Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always stopping by. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to make a corset loop and also how to fix this on your dress. So if this is something that interests you, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get started. Welcome guys. So for this tutorial, we'll be needing our Regilene boning. This is a tiny boning. We'll be needing our fabric, your satin fabric or Ankara as the case may be, your chalk, your tape, your scissors. So these are the basic things we'll be needing. So I'll go ahead now and spread out my material. As you can see, the four corners of this material. So now I'll be drawing a diagonal line in this form along the bias area. So the bias area of the fabric is the stretchy part of this fabric. When I cut this fabric along this line, it will be stretching, but when I cut it in the normal way, it won't stretch. So I need a stretchy part of this material, so that's why it is called the bias area. So now from the line, you measure 2 inches like that. So we'll be cutting at least 3 of these 2 inches. So depending on how long the corset loop you want to make, you can do more. You can cut more of this fabric, or you can even use a bigger fabric so that you don't even have to cut it in pieces. But if you have the pieces, it will still work very fine for you. So you just go ahead and cut this out. So after cutting it out, this is what I have. As you can see, as I'm holding it like this, it is stretching. So this is what I need. So when you draw your fabric in this manner, the straight manner, it won't stretch, but when you do it the other way, it will stretch. So that is what we need. So now this fabric, they are 2 inches wide. So you just go ahead to your sewing machine and sew. You sew with 1/4 inch. Like the sewing allowance will be 3/4. What will be left will be 1/4 inch. I don't know if you get. It will be 3/4. The sewing allowance will be 3/4. The remaining part will be 1/4 inch because we need a tiny hole. So after that, you just go ahead and turn this fabric. Turning this fabric is not the sweetest thing, but you just have to turn it this way. So you have to turn it any way you know how to do it best. So just go ahead and turn it. So after turning it, this is what it will look like. So it will be, it's 1/4 inch. All the 3/4 inches sewing allowance will be inside. That is what will give it the thickness we need. So this is what it will look like after turning. Then you go ahead to cut your boning depending on the length of the corset loop you want to do. So mine, for this tutorial, I'll be using 10 inches. Then on the boning, you mark your starting point. Then you mark 1 inch on the boning, 1 inch. Then on the fabric, you mark out your starting point. So that's the starting point. So I'll mark 2 inches first, followed by 1 inch, 2 inches, 1 inch. So I'll be marking it like that: 2 inches, 1 inch, 2 inches, 1 inch, until I get to the end of the rope. That is what I will be marking. After you are done marking, so the next thing is to pick up the rope. As you can see, the mark on the rope, you have to make sure the mark is visible because that is what you will be following to place this rope on the boning. So I'll go ahead now to the sewing machine to show you how it will be done on the sewing machine. So this is the boning. As you can see, the line on it, the 1 inch line. So those are the line on the boning, and this is the rope. As you can see, the line on it, so the starting point, the 2 inches, the 1 inch, the 2 inches, like that till the end. So now we'll be starting in this way. So the starting point, that is the 2 inches, you fold it like this, then you place the rope after the line. So the first one will be after the line and the next one will be before the line. So you place it on the sewing machine, and you have to be slow, like you have to take time when you are doing this. So you stitch it down. So you stitch it down at that point. Then the second point, that is where you marked, it will be before the line, the 1 inch line there. So it will be before it. So this one, the next one, will be after the line. So now the line will now be in between this part over here. The line will be there. So you continue like that. So you place this, then this is the other 2 inches. I don't know if you get this. So the 1 inch is the shorter part of this, while the 2 inches is this full loop that we have there. So that's the 2 inches. So the half inch, the 1 inch, you fold it like this. So the line will be in between this folding. That is where the line will be, in between. So the first one will be before, the second one will be after. So the line will now be in between. So you just continue like that until you get to the end of the boning. Please just keep watching so that you can understand. So the 2 inches marking we did is what is forming this bigger loop, while the 1 inch is what we folded at this area. You know, this part is short, so that is just the logic behind this. So that's the 2 inches. Yeah, so this is the half inch. As you can see, it's very short. So that is it. So the last part over here, I think I still have a point here. So that's the 2 inches. So a full loop like this will be in between the 1 inch line. So as you can see, this first one is shifted away, it's not complete. I will trim that out. So a full loop will be in between the 1 inch line. So in between the 1 inch line, that is after the line and before the line. So this is what it will look like after you are done sewing. Then you go ahead to make the second part, because you have to make 2, one for the right side and the other one for the left side. So this is it, and this is what I have. So that part I'll be trimming it out. So this is the other side I will be making. So if you don't get it the first time, so this is the second time I'll be doing this. So you mark your starting point on your boning. So after the starting point, you start marking your 1 inch. So you mark 1 inch only on the boning, 1 inch all through, depending on how long your boning is. Just keep marking 1 inch, and this is what it will look like. So after that, you will mark your points on your rope too. So for the rope, we also have a starting point. The rope will have a starting point too. After the starting point, you will start with 2 inches, 1 inch, 2 inches, 1 inch, like that. You get to the end of the rope. So after you are done with the marking of the point, go ahead to the sewing machine to make the same thing. So after I'm done, this is what it looks like. So for this part, as you can see, the first rope was not enough and I have to join. So for you to join, you just start just as if you want to start a new one. From the 2 inches, you just make another rope. Just continue like that till you get to the end of the boning. So this is what it will look like when you are done. So I'm trying to trim out the excess part of this. So this is my corset loop, as you can see. But for this side, one is not fully formed, so I'll have to reduce it that part I have to cut it away. So I'll just go ahead and trim it so that I can have a perfect loop. So now let's go ahead and fix this on our blouse, the back pattern. So this is the back bodies. So this is the lining. One will be the lining, one will be the main bodies. So for you to fix this in, you will place this corset, the loop like this. So the loop area will be facing inward while the boning will be at the edge. Then you leave your sewing allowance at the lower part. So mine is ½ inch. That is why I have ½ inch at the lower part and also at the upper part. So you place the boning like that, then you sew. So you sew with your sewing allowance. If your sewing allowance is more than ½ inch, you move this loop inside, but mine is ½ inch and the boning is close to ½ inch. So this is what I have after sewing. So as you can see, the boning is inward, so this is what it will look like. So the boning will be inside, the boning must not show outside, it's just the loop alone we need. Then you go ahead to turn your fabric to the right side. So after turning it, this is what I have. As you can see, it's look really nice, and they will be matching. One will not be longer than each other. I promise you, if you follow the same procedure, it won't be longer than each other. So you can top stitch at that area just to give it a nice look. Then the next thing I'll be doing now is to lace my corsets. So if you use this method, your loop will be perfect. It will be perfect. It won't be longer than each other. You won't have that problem because it will be perfect. And this method is for those who don't have a grommet machine that is used to make the highlights at the back of the dress. So this will look very nice if you don't have the eyelet machine. So if you watch up to this extent, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking this video, for commenting, for subscribing, for sharing with your friends, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.